Hello Otaku fans, today's episode of Ani-2, we're counting down the top 10 anime where the main character is a villain. Without further ado, let's start. Hellsing, an organization specializing in dealing with supernatural threats, is called in to eliminate a vampire that is turning the villagers of Cheddar into ghouls. To put an end to this, the leader of the organization, Sir Integra Fairbrook Wingates Hellsing, dispatches her most formidable asset, a powerful vampire known as Alucard. Armed with only a single handgun, Alucard wreaks havoc on the monsters plaguing Cheddar. However, a young police officer, Saraz Victoria, gets caught up in the chaos and becomes mortally wounded as a result. Taking pity on the girl, Alucard gives her a choice: die as a human or live on as a vampire. Saraz accepts his offer and begins a new life as a member of Hellsing. Though it was her decision, Saraz struggles with the fact that she is no longer human. Nevertheless, she must embrace being a creature of the night soon if she wants to survive on the front lines in the fight between humans and the supernatural. Lucy is a special breed of human referred to as Diclonius, born with a short pair of horns and invisible telekinetic hands, that lands her as a victim of inhumane scientific experimentation by the government. However, once circumstances present her an opportunity to escape, Lucy, corrupted by the confinement and torture, unleashes a torrent of bloodshed as she escapes her captors. During her breakout, she receives a crippling head injury that leaves her with a split personality. Someone with the mentality of a harmless child possessing limited speech capacity. In this state of instability, she stumbles upon two college students, Kauda and his cousin Yuka, who unknowingly take an injured fugitive into their care, unaware of her murderous tendencies. This act of kindness will change their lives, as they soon find themselves dragged into the shadowy world of government secrecy and conspiracy. Lonely high school student Yukateru Amano spends his days writing a diary on his cell phone while conversing with his two seemingly imaginary friends, Deus Ex Machina, who is the god of time and space, and Murmur, the god's servant. Revealing himself to be an actual entity, Deus grants Yukateru a random diary, which shows highly descriptive entries based on the future, and forces him into a bloody battle royale with 11 other holders of similarly powerful future diaries. With the last person standing designated as the new god of time and space, Yukateru must find and kill the other 11 in order to survive. He reluctantly teams up with his obsessive stalker Yuno Gasai, who also possesses such a diary, and she takes it upon herself to ensure his safety. But there's more to the girl than meets the eye, as she might have other plans for her unrequited love. As a child living in the town of Lawless, Angelo Lagusa has witnessed a tragedy. His parents and younger brother have been mercilessly slaughtered by the Venetti Mafia family. Losing everything he holds dear, he leaves both his name and hometown behind, adopting the new identity of Avilio Bruno. 7 years later, Avilio finally has his chance for revenge when he receives a mysterious letter prompting him to return to Lawless. Obliging, he soon encounters the Venetti Don's son, Nero, and seeks to befriend him using the skills he has quietly honed for years. Set during the Prohibition era, 91 Days tells the story of Avilio's dark, blood-stained path to vengeance, as he slowly ends each of the men involved in the killing of his family. They're cute, adorable, and 3 of the most powerful espers the world has ever seen. Kaoru, the brash psychokinetic who can move objects with her mind, Shiho, the sarcastic and dark-natured psychometric able to pick thoughts from people's minds and read the pasts of inanimate objects like a book, and Aoi, the most collected and rational of the 3, who has the ability to teleport herself and the others at will. So what to do with these potential psychic monsters in the making? Enter BABEL, the base of backing Spanish Pesetas Laboratory, where hopefully the children and others like them can become part of the answer to an increasing wave of psychic evolution. It's a win-win solution unless you're Koichi Minamoto, the overworked young man stuck with the unenviable task of field commanding a team of 3 preteen girls. A Shinigami, as a god of death, can kill any person provided they see their victim's face and write their victim's name in a notebook called a death note. One day, Ryuk, bored by the Shinigami lifestyle and interested in seeing how a human would use a death note, drops one into the human realm. High school student and prodigy Light Yagami stumbles upon the death note and, since he deplores the state of the world, tests the deadly notebook by writing a criminal's name in it. When the criminal dies immediately following his experiment with the death note, Light is greatly surprised and quickly recognizes how devastating the power that has fallen into his hands could be. With this divine capability, Light decides to extinguish all criminals in order to build a new world where crime does not exist and people worship him as a god. Police, however, quickly discover that a serial killer is targeting criminals and, consequently, try to apprehend the culprit. To do this, the Japanese investigators count on the assistance of the best detective in the world, a young and eccentric man known only by the name of L. Ichiro Inuyashiki is a 58-year-old family man who is going through a difficult time in his life. Though his frequent back problems are painful, nothing hurts quite as much as the indifference and distaste that his wife and children have for him. Despite this, Ichiro still manages to find solace in Hanako, an abandoned Shiba Inu that he adopts into his home. However, his life takes a turn for the worse when a follow-up physical examination reveals that Ichiro has stomach cancer and only 3 months to live. Though he tries to be strong, his family's disinterest causes an emotional breakdown. Running off into a nearby field, Ichiro embraces his dog and weeps until he notices a strange figure standing before him. Suddenly, a bright light appears, and Ichiro is enveloped by smoke and dust. When he comes to, he discovers something is amiss. He has been reborn as a mechanized weapon, wearing the skin of his former self. Though initially shocked, the compassionate Ichiro immediately uses his newfound powers to save a life, an act of kindness that fills him with happiness and newfound hope. However, the origins of these strange powers remain unclear. Who was the mysterious figure at the site of the explosion, and are they as kind as Ichiro when it comes to using this dangerous gift? In the wake of the Third World War, which left Japan in ruins, an organization known as Vishio seized control of Tokyo and renamed it Tsushima. Taking place in its back alleys are battle games known as Agura, overseen by the Vishio, in which contestants battle and bathe in each other's blood to earn the chance to go up against its tournament's king, Ilri. Agura is not the only fighting tournament around. Blaster is a similar yet vastly different game, since it prohibits murder and the use of weapons. The only way to win is by knocking out the opponent. Akira, a young man isolated from his family, is known to be undefeatable at BL at Sturt. However, his life on the top is shattered when he is accused of murder. Unable to prove his own innocence, all hope is seemingly lost, that is until a mysterious woman named Emma appears and offers him a chance. Now, to regain his freedom, Akira must participate in Agura and ultimately defeat Ilri. Tanya Degurachev is a young soldier infamous for predatorial-like ruthlessness and an uncanny tactical aptitude, earning her the nickname of the Devil of the Rhine. Underneath her innocuous appearance, however, lies the soul of a man who challenged Being X, the self-proclaimed god, to a battle of wits which resulted in him being reincarnated as a little girl into a world of magical warfare. Hellbent on defiance, Tanya resolves to ascend the ranks of her country's military as it slowly plunges into World War, with only Being X proving to be the strongest obstacle in recreating the peaceful life she once knew. But her perceptive actions and combat initiative have an unintended side effect, propelling the mighty empire into becoming one of the most powerful nations in mankind's history. On August 10th of the year 2010, the Holy Empire of Britannia began a campaign of conquest, its sights set on Japan. Operations were completed in 1 month, thanks to Britannia's deployment of new mobile humanoid armor vehicles dubbed Nightmare frames. Japan's rights and identity were stripped away, the once proud nation now referred to as Area 11. Its citizens, 11s, are forced to scratch out a living while the Britannian aristocracy lives comfortably within their settlements. Pockets of resistance appear throughout Area 11, working towards independence for Japan. Lelich, an exiled imperial prince of Britannia posing as a student, finds himself in the heart of the ongoing conflict for the island nation. Through a chance meeting with a mysterious girl named CC, Lelich gains his Geas, the power of the king. Now endowed with absolute dominance over any person, Lelich may finally realize his goal of bringing down Britannia from within. And that's it. What do you think of this list then? Comment below and let us know. Don't forget to like the video and hit the notification bell if you want to see more anime related content. I'll see you next time here in AnimeTube.